Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Shar Pei Neighbor, your YouTube channel for all things Shar Pei and all things dog. So we live in the Pacific Northwest and winters here tend to be, as you can see by the lawn there, green but rainy. And I thought it was time for Bubba and me to have a little getaway. You know, it's too easy to kind of get into the everyday, laying around the house, maybe not living your best life, but certainly walking through your life kind of times. So it made sense that we would think about maybe going somewhere together. Go Bubba in the car. Yeah, let's go. So we packed up the car with dog beds, dog treats, a few things for the people, for the person. We took a trip to Lincoln City, Oregon. All the beaches in Oregon are public, which is awesome. And at least this one here is dog friendly. Bubba is now about 14 and a half. And one of the advantages of that is that I can let him off leash a lot more now because he's slow enough I can now catch him if he decides to go rogue, when he decides that he may not want to be caught, which he still does. It was a really beautiful spot. We got sunsets like this. We got wildlife like this. And for dinner, we went down to some of the food trucks that are on the south side of town, I believe they were. Got some beautiful chana sag that was awesomely delicious, and I did not share because I'm mean. You can see the little rug here that's on the floor. I brought that with us just to help him navigate the floors. And really kind of that evening, we got there late. I got a little dinner, and we tucked in. One of the challenges we faced was the place we stayed was really comfortable, but they didn't have an elevator. I'm thankful we were on the second floor because we had a good view. Bubba was not a fan of these stairs because the treads are wide, but we navigated them. We also navigated by a lot of green plants, like this beautiful forget-me-not. And then pretty much the rest of the time we were there was this, just trotting around and sniffing. Well, Bubba did the trotting around and sniffing. I just followed him and just kind of admired how awesome he is. Lincoln City has this thing where they hide these, they call them floats. They're big glass bulbs and they hide them, and if you find the one, you get to keep them. They're beautiful. They're made by local artists. We didn't find one, but I did find this beautiful pattern in the sand. There's plenty of places where fresh water is meeting the sea here. I'm not even sure what made this part of it the black and brown that you see, but I just thought it was amazing. And the number one thing Bubba seemed to really enjoy was all the sniffing. There was all these smells. And, you know, I mean, when you look out across the ocean, the next thing you would encounter would maybe be Japan. So it is pretty awesome. I always wonder, like, I feel like dogs probably smell the way that we see, with this like richness and dimension that we can't even imagine. And just like they can't imagine how the world looks to us with our color vision. And one thing I've noticed too is if you have a dog who likes to sniff as much as Bubba does, you're going to have a sandy water bowl. So I kept that rinsed out, of course, for him so he could get lots of fresh water. And what we did was, usually we got up in the morning, had a little bite to eat, and then we hung out on the beach for a little while. Also keeping an eye on the seagulls. Clearly nobody feeds these seagulls from these back windows. Absolutely not. It's just a coincidence that there was almost always a seagull out there. And Bubba, of course, being the experienced traveler, he knows what's up. He just put down his little bed, he curls up, he sleeps when he's tired. He's brilliant. This is the look you get when you go to get dinner and your dog has to wait in the car. I would highly recommend the chowder from Otis's Cafe. Good clams. You can actually see them. It's not overwhelmed with potatoes. I also would recommend to stop by Reed's Homemade Candies. It's a little shop right off the main drag, mom and pop place run by a family, and just friendly folks, real good stuff. Of course, we were doing a lot of walking, always paying attention to how far we were from the hotel and how much of a walk back we faced. And one of the last days we were there, we went to a different beach called Taft Beach. You can see here, there's a lot more driftwood up by the tree line. So it was a little trickier to navigate access to the beach, but of course the beach was beautiful and wonderful. And just kind of watched all the people hunting agates. And eventually what happens when you have a 14-and-a-half-year-old dog is this kind of thing. Bubba developed a little limp, a little hitch in his giddy-up. We had just spent so much time out and about. Not surprised that his limp developed. So we headed back to the car. We had some medicine on board for him, and he's feeling just fine. It was just, you know, a little too much fun. Some kids throw up at Disney, and some dogs just develop a limp from too much walking. The funny thing about Bubba is if you close the shades and he thinks they should be open, he will just harass the shades like this. He does this at home too with the shades on the patio doors. And he'll stand there. He'll do the Shar Pei thing. He'll stand there like that. And then he'll look at you like, what? Why are you still sitting there? Open the shades, crying out loud. On the way out of town, we stopped at a place called Lincoln City Barbecue. They had a pulled pork sandwich there. I would highly recommend it. I wouldn't say I'm a barbecue aficionado, but it was real dang tasty. This is a picture of me being very mean because I ate the whole thing and did not share. I probably gave him a piece of the bun, but you know, that's how I am. So that was our trip to Lincoln City, Oregon. Obviously, I am not a travel blogger yet. I could have shot a lot more, but I just really wanted to enjoy the time with Bubba. So we wrapped up our time back in the car. And the good thing about it is it stopped raining when we got home. And we got some pots and some seeds so we can start thinking spring, making some plans to grow some herbs and veggies and flowers. And then, you know, it's okay to get back to your routine when you come back from a little trip, doing the things that make you happy. And, you know, some of the reason that we travel is so that we can come home, right? I hope you enjoyed this video about Bubba and I taking a trip out to Lincoln City, Oregon. Please remember to give it a like and a subscribe before you go. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Happy walkies.